I don't know of any city called the Ghost City, maybe Savannah, but I think that there's some quarterbacks who might feel like a rose after the draft, and there's some quarterbacks who might feel a little bit ghosted or a little bit slighted after the draft this past weekend. Rutledge, what do you think?
Oh, there are definitely some quarterbacks that are texting their position coaches or their head coaches or even their GMs are like, "Hey, did you watch a draft? Hey, can we talk on Monday?" And then it's just all messages from them, no messages on the other side. So we're going to go and not only are there some teams that we must bust and trust, there's some quarterbacks that we think should feel real good about what's coming to their town and that should feel uh, real left out in the dark. Like, why don't you love me anymore? So, Connor, who do you think should feel good based on what happened to their team during the draft? Who do you have?
You know, feeling good, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. Not only did by the end of the season Jalen Hurts get to be the starting quarterback, and the Eagles move off of Carson Wentz. Not only did the Eagles draft Devontae Smith in the first round, who, even though I rated him fifth on the power rankings, I still think he can be a pretty productive player. But then their next pick was the former center that played for Jalen Hurts. Probably won't play center, but is definitely somebody that is going to have some real familiarity with Jalen Hurts. Also, on top of that, and I know I'm going for a little bit of a stretch here, but also on top of that, you have the Eagles have a chance to have 3 first-round picks next year. They have. I'm gonna look at my show notes while I'm playing here. They have the Dolphins first rounder, and then there's kind of a weird thing on the Wentz trade that if Carson Wentz plays more than 75% of the snaps next season for the Colts, they'll have the Colts first rounder. So not only is there a ton of familiarity, but even if the Eagles don't exactly have a great season, there's a lot of potential for more offensive firepower to be selected next year. So I think Jalen Hurts is going to get some extra cheese whiz on his cheesesteak.
Oh, he should feel so good about flying those Eagles and flying them. I am going to go and stick with someone a little different who we love here at Friendstream Sports, and that's our unofficial BFF, Justin Herbert. We're still waiting for you to text us back, by the way. We feel a little ghosted with our friendship. But if you look at what the Chargers did, they came out and they took Rashawn Slater to put on the line with their first pick. That just says that we like you, Justin, and we trust you. They had a cornerback, a wide receiver, and a tight end. Hunter Henry, of course, is a Patriot now when the Patriots bought over everybody, but they've brought some youth to help a quarterback that they believe in. Why did Connor and I fall in love with Justin Herbert so much last year? Because he does so many great things in a pretty wide open division, even though Kansas City lives in their neighborhood. Um, they are building a different type of culture in a team, and if it wasn't for all the injuries, they would have done way better. So I think they're going to be very happy with who they got, and he should feel real good reporting to OTAs when it comes time.
Oh yeah, I think Justin Herbert is going to be. I think he was very very happy. Get some more protection. Um, and they got to score points, man. You got to score points to win the AFC West.
You do.
That's for sure. So being able to do that is a real big positive throughout that. And maybe this will give Justin Herbert the confidence to grow his hair back,
Yep.
or grow his hair out long enough to send us a lock of his hair. I'd be
Yeah.
into that. I would take that 100%.
I would take
Um,
that.
yeah. Sorry, Justin, we're not that weird. Um, but
Connor,
yeah, so I would say to maybe transition into the player who should maybe not feel as good, we need to give a shout out, Friendstream Sports shout out to Cam Newton Rutledge.
oh, we
Uh, yeah, you share why. I love the way that you put this.
So if you weren't aware, Twitter, of course, is one of the most savage things ever made in America, outside of even more savage to you than a Big Mac. And if you don't remember a long time ago, there was the Play 60 commercial of the little kid, Cam Newton, telling him, "Don't forget to play 60 minutes a day." And the kid says, "And then I'll be a starting quarterback of the Panthers and win the Heisman and make the NFL forget about you." And that little kid, while it's not Mac Jones, Cam Newton's got to feel like that's Mac Jones because he's come back. He had the inspirational workout videos. He tried to learn that new system, and the Patriots drafted Mac Jones. So I'm sure he's been trying to reach out to Josh McDaniels, but we have to call him out of the elephant in the room because Mac Jones is just kind of exactly what that New England Patriot system needs. He reminds me of a Jimmy G. He reminds me of a Tom Brady. He's very coachable. I know that Bama and New England are not the same, but when you can come out of one of those just highly successful, high disciplined programs, that's your guy. So, how
And
many
you know
texts?
Mac Jones can take criticism. That's a big thing.
That's a huge
If you're
thing.
playing for Bill Belichick, you got to be ready to take. We'll put it lightly. Take a little bit of criticism.
So definitely wanted to call him out of the room that neither one of us should pick him as our. They're feeling ghosted today. So who do you have as ghosted out there after the draft, Connor?
I think that Kirk Cousins from Minnesota should feel ghosted. The Vikings as an organization have seemed like a team that's so close in recent years to being the institutional pick of the NFC North, right? So many times it's like, man, the Vikings have such a great roster everywhere. But then, they got to play Green Bay, or there's kind of these reasons why the Vikings just aren't, end up not being who they need to be. And then, as opposed to picking any offensive skill to continue to give Kirk Cousins help. As you tell, my theme tonight is all about offensive skill. Uh, they do draft a tackle with the first pick, but then they pick goal Kellen Mond, who was also crazy productive out of college, but maybe wasn't the highest rated quarterback, to give Kirk Cousins some competition, right? So I think that Kirk should definitely feel ghosted. Everybody in the organization, everybody on that team, everybody on that division seemed to take a step back. When I say everybody on that team, I mean everybody in the division seemed to take a step back. And the Vikings could have taken a step forward and really tried to load up, but they drafted Kellen Mond in the second round and waited until pick 119 to pick a wide receiver. So I think Kirk should not feel very happy right now.
I think he's probably walking up and down the training facility in Minnesota yelling, "Do you like that? Do you like that?" To paraphrase him, yelling at the
But
reporters
like
after the.
questioning, like,
Yeah. Do you
do you
like
like
that?
that?
Do you like that? He's definitely sent some text messages, and he's feeling kind of lonely tonight in the cold, cold land of Minnesota. I'm gonna
Oh
wrap up.
yeah. So Rutledge, as we close out, who do you think is the one that got ghosted?
I'm gonna go with a pair of roommates that are probably sitting at a Portillo's right now. I'm gonna say Andy Dalton and Nick Foles, but most likely Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton just got traded to Dallas, and while he wasn't amazing there, had the second highest amount of completion percentage in his career, did very well, but he got Mike Glennon. You're coming to a new team, and they draft what is supposed to be their quarterback of the future. So for Andy Dalton to watch that, he hasn't come to practice, hasn't let the coaching team see him, and now uh, they're going to have it happen. Even if Fields just sits, all eyes in Chicago are going to be on Justin Fields, and they're going to wait to see him. So I know that Andy Dalton was hoping this was going to be his shot, at least for him and Nick Foles to go, but it is not. So I'm taking Andy Dalton. Feels super lonely out there, eating his feelings in Chicago.
I could see that. Dalton, not a happy camper for sure. And neither are the Portland Trailblazers tonight.
No, that was yeah. Wow, that was wow.
That might have been the largest beatdown in the history of Friends Stream Sports.
It feels like we didn't even play the video game with how much the beatdown was. I don't even want to announce the score on the show because I'm so upset.
Connor wins by 30.
Was it really 30?
Connor wins by 30.
Oh, Damian Lillard had
76 to 36.
Damian 46, 76 to 46, not 36. Could try to rub the salt. Damian Lillard, I think, had 2 points all game.
Wow.
Well,
Well,